Hey, I'm Ryan Reynolds.
Recently, I asked Mint Mobile's legal team if big wireless companies are allowed to raise prices due to inflation. They said yes. And then when I asked if raising prices technically violates those onerous two-year contracts, they said, "What the f*** are you talking about, you insane Hollywood ass?" So to recap, we're cutting the price of Mint Unlimited from $30 a month to just $15 a month.
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
On today's Smart 7, Trump blames diversity for Potomac crash, tributes to an English icon and much more. It's Friday 31st of January, it's International Zebra Day, and happy birthday Justin Timberlake.
The Smart 7. It's news, but not the news.
There was no good news from the site of the Washington plane crash on Thursday. Rescue crews had been searching the Potomac River in the center of Washington after an American Airlines flight from Wichita, Kansas, collided with a U.S. military Black Hawk helicopter on night maneuvers. Washington, D.C. Fire Chief John Donnelly said they're not expecting to find any of the 67 people involved alive, but they have recovered the black boxes.
We are now at a point where we are switching from a rescue operation to a recovery operation. At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors from this accident.
It's the worst US air crash since 2009, but instead of comforting the nation in a time of grief, new President Donald Trump took to the podium in the press room at the White House and immediately blamed diversity policies for the crash. That's after Elon Musk had forced out the head of the Federal Aviation Authority on the 20th of January with no replacement nominated, and after Trump fired the head of the Coast Guard and the head of the TSA, along with the removal of a crucial safety committee. He wasn't taking any blame, though, pointing fingers at everyone but himself.
I changed the Obama standards from very mediocre at best to extraordinary. And then when I left office and Biden took over, he changed them back. Obama, Biden, and the Democrats put policy first.
There's been a mixed reaction to Chancellor Rachel Reeves' renewed efforts to drive growth in the UK economy this week. She's determined to push ahead with the third runway for Heathrow and has promised spades in the ground by the end of this Parliament. The Chancellor is also urging an acceleration in building projects across the board, firmly putting environmental issues in second place.
We've committed to build 1.5 million homes in this Parliament, and we've made it easier to build, for example, around commuter railway stations, with the default answer for planning applications now being yes.
That gung-ho attitude has alarmed environmental campaigners who are unimpressed by the new approach to building and a proposed nature restoration fund that developers will be asked to pay into. Wildlife and Countryside Link CEO Richard Benwell says the government should be more concerned about wildlife like newts and bats.
These are precious species that are on the edge of survival in many cases, and they're protected for a reason. It's when we arrive at a situation where wildlife is on the edge that the laws start to kick in.
This week, the US Senate has been working its way through Donald Trump's list of nominees for key positions in his new administration. Thursday saw some tough sessions as Kash Patel, a man who wrote a children's fairy tale about Donald Trump and the Russia scandal, defended himself in his bid to become the director of the FBI. Meanwhile, Tulsi Gabbard was coming under pressure over comments on Edward Snowden and Syria as she aims to become Trump's intelligence chief. RFK Jr. was in for day 2 of his grilling in his effort to become health secretary, and he got taken to task by Senator Bernie Sanders over his views on vaccines and autism.
Studies all over the world say it does not. What do you think?
Senator, if you show me those studies, I will absolutely, as I promised to Chairman Cassidy, I will apologize.
That is a very troubling response because the studies are there. Your job was to have looked at those studies as an applicant for this job.
Thursday saw another group of hostages released by Hamas in Khan Yunis. 3 Israelis, including an 80-year-old man, and 5 Thai nationals were handed over in front of a large crowd who almost disrupted the process, causing Israel to delay the release of Palestinian prisoners. And despite promises to increase the flow of aid to Gaza, a ban on the UN's Palestinian refugee agency UNRWA from operating in eastern Jerusalem came into effect on Thursday. Roland Friedrich, the head of West Bank operations, says the ban will be disruptive.
We're going to see a quite severe impact on a lot of very vulnerable people. And the people who come here are people who have no access to other alternatives. People who cannot afford to pay additional money for chronic disease medication. They get that for free from us.
Still to come on today's Smart 7, a good night in the Europa League, and we pay tribute to an English icon right after this.
To get people excited about Boost Mobile's new nationwide 5G network, we're offering unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month.
Forever.
Even if you have a baby.
Even if your baby has a baby.
Even if you grow old and wrinkly and you start repeating yourself.
Even if you start repeating yourself.
Even if you're on your deathbed and you need to make one last call.
Or text.
Right, or text. The long-lost son you abandoned at birth.
You'll still get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month with Boost Mobile.
Forever!
After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Unlimited plan.
Forever.
Welcome back.
Thursday night saw the first phase of the new format of this year's Europa League wrap-up. Much like the Champions League, there were now 36 teams doing battle for a place in the next round, with 18 games on Thursday night. Man United were in Romania, where they beat Steaua Bucharest 2-0. Rangers got a 2-1 win at home to Belgian side Union Saint-Gilloise, while Spurs beat Swedish side Elfsborg 3-0. That saw all three UK sides in the top 8, with Man United finishing third in the table, much to the delight of Ruben Amorim, who was happy to have avoided the playoffs and 2 extra games.
That is the biggest thing. More than the win is to have time to train, to have time to recover the players for playing Premier League. That is a key point for us.
Fans of Breakfast TV will be delighted to hear that the morning show is on the way back. No, it's not BBC Breakfast or Good Morning Britain. It's the US drama, which is executive produced by and stars Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. Season 4 of the show deals with the US presidential election and the rise of AI and deepfakes. Reese Witherspoon says it's not just the topics, the way that news is dealt with has shifted dramatically since Series 1.
I mean, we're dealing with what's going on in the world, so it's just chaos. Doing a show that's about media and how people get their news is so fascinating, because from when we started in 2018 to now, it's just wildly different.
The world lost an icon on Thursday as the death was announced of Marianne Faithfull at 78 years of age. She was a singer and an actress who shot to fame in the 1960s and then reinvented herself several times throughout her life. She was discovered in 1964 at the age of 18 at a party by Rolling Stones manager Andrew Loog Oldham, and within a year she had a top 10 UK hit with As Tears Go By. The song was written by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, and she and Jagger had a 4-year relationship which ended badly and saw Marianne homeless and addicted to heroin. She recovered and made 2 comebacks, including as a jazz singer, winning a Lifetime Achievement Award in 2009 and being presented with one of France's highest honours. She lived happily in Paris in later years and was quite content, as she revealed in a TV interview back in 2016. Rest in peace, Marianne.
I get more joy from my flowers than anything. I like to be on my own, yes. I'm pretty lonely, actually, but it's okay. I carry my home here. Where I live is not my home. I am my home.
You've been listening to The Smart 7. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hit that follow button and have a great day. Give us 7 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Will full coverage make me look cakey? Is my undertone neutral or is it cool? We get it. Finding the right foundation is hard. But with Il Makiage, it's easy to find your perfect match online, customized for your unique skin tone and coverage needs. Plus, with Try Before You Buy, you can try your full size at home for 14 days. With over 600,000 5-star reviews, this best-selling foundation is going viral for a reason. Take the Power Match quiz now at ilmakiage.com/quiz. ILMAKIAGE.com/quiz.